Helicopter slow overhead. Looks like a silver and blue LAPD. Slow overhead. Helicopter still overhead. There he goes. That's a different one. That's a military. Okay, so they stopped right in front of my vehicle right here.
They're carnivorous. They are not friendly to mankind, at least the ones that are here.
Are you saying carnivorous, they eat humans?
Yes. And they need to be, they won't eat a dead human. It has to be alive at the time of the killing. Their preference is children. The higher echelon that are actually helping them acquire this.
So human beings are abducting the kids and giving them to the gray suit, in turn give them to the Alpha Draconans?
That's right. That's part of the deal. They won't come up as long as we feed them down there.
Look at your reflection in the mirror. You're creature of the night, Michael. Just like out of a comic book. You're a vampire, Michael. My own brother, a goddamn shit-sucking vampire. Oh, you wait till Mom finds out, buddy.
The Andromedans tell you that the Alpha Draconans are here now. Where?
There are 1,833 of them that have been living underground between 100 and 200 miles beneath the surface. They've been here, some of them have been here a long, long time. They have lifespans that are thousands of years. They're carnivorous. They are not friendly to mankind, at least the ones that are here.
Are you saying carnivorous, they eat humans?
Yes. And they need to be, they won't eat a dead human. It has to be alive at the time of the killing. Their preference is children. You know, and we've been told, you shouldn't talk about that. You know, there are other people say, well, you better not talk about the reptilians. Well, you know, bull. You know, why not? According to the Andromedans, they're responsible for 31,712 children disappearing in the last 25 years from the United States. These children were food. And I'm supposed to just shut up and not say anything about it because people don't want to hear it? That's tough. That's tough.
The national toll per year is in the thousands. Every year, kids die violently because of this.
The kind of individuals involved are down the line, almost in every instance, in the cases I've investigated, men who are very powerful, usually very wealthy, and usually administrate control over a large number of people.
It's closely attached to the major financial, commercial, industrial, educational institutions of our society. It's run by the same people who run those. It's frequented by the same people who occupy management positions in those. It's not the mafia. It's an adjunct of clean business. It's serving the most respectable people we have in our society, the people who are the elite.
See, what we have is a combination of people who are taken over by reptilian spirits. The more they sin, the more they align themselves with Satan through more and more grievous sin, all the way up to sacrificing children for their blood, first raping them and then killing them and drinking the blood. That's how it goes. Do you think that's rare? No, that's the elite that we've got, because they get you to do bigger and bigger sin. And the more you do that sin, the more you let those demons in, the more you become a demon. As I was mentioning, you actually become a demon. You become these non-human spirits. But then you have the prodigy of these non-humans, which are they were born that way. I mean, they were a race of these reptilians that, and also other beasts that have millions of years of lineage, because I think that's the time frame of when the angels first turned into beasts, or first were turned into beasts, like Satan was turned into a reptilian beast for his sin of rebelling against God. But then you have all the successive generations, because they bred, and so they became these, probably at a certain point, like a lot of them wanted to lie about their true origins, or the story was lost, and they bred throughout the cosmos and settled on different planets and this and that and the other. And now a whole bunch of them are just, all these various races of beings, which, as we know from the scripture, and I'll continue to say, because it's very important, a lot of people just, they too much the blame game. But Jeremiah 31:27 tells us, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast." This tells us that there's going to be, of the beasts that will be counted as friends of God, counted in the family even of God. Because you can't say that non-sentient animals, pigs, cows, and donkeys are counted as the seed with the rest of the Jews, unless they were sexually compatible. Alright, so another cataloging of the homeless experience as I walk the trail of tears, having to move my RV again. So this, I had to move it, as I may have recently mentioned, or you may have seen it. Anyway, I had to move it about 3 weeks ago because the parking enforcement guy came, put marks on the tires, and I happened to meet him while he was doing it. So I talked with him for about 10 minutes. And basically he said, "Man, just clear out for a while." And because I told him, I said, it's hard to find a spot like that because it's like not right in front of someone's house, And so I moved it up to this place over here, recording over here. So it's like kind of up in the mountains, where this place where my parents had bought a house a while back, and I happen to know about this one little place you could park that's not like right in anybody's face. But a couple of times people have, like one time somebody just pulled up next to me and just left it idling there for a while. And I was, a little bit concerned about it, like, okay, so they're probably, maybe it's just somebody, kind of giving me the message, And then, because you're parked at an RV. If it was a nice, like a high-end RV, probably wouldn't hear nothing. But my RV looks totally poor, and because like old and rusty, and there's like rust in the front and everything. So I mean, not too bad, I'm sorry I can't show it here on camera because, like I said, some freak found me before by watching my YouTube channel and nearly screwed up this place that I was parking at. Luckily, it wasn't too bad, but I learned my lesson. Don't show the RV, because you get all kinds of people that might want to come and, ruin your current spot. So you can't make a current spot where you park your homeless mobile for too long, especially if you have like an older, if you have, because usually if you're poor, you're not going to be able to have a nice RV or a nice vehicle. So that's just something you got to put up with if you don't park it for one place too long. That's why I said probably if you can get a, dang, there's just something on the screen that I can't get rid of. Hold on. If you, let's see, did I get rid of it? A little bit. No, it's still there. I think it's inside the case. Dope. This one didn't last too long. I already dropped it too and just messed up the front. But in any case, so yeah, I had to move it, and so then, okay, but then this morning, so one guy idled it for a little while, and I was kind of like worried about it. So okay, so far I haven't gotten like anybody like honking or leaving notes or something like that. But people don't want it. People don't want a homeless mobile parked in their neighborhood. So, but then this morning, some guy came and parked it, but his car was so quiet I didn't hear it running. But he got out and he started walking around. There's another homeless mobile. I don't know if it's gonna show up on camera. It's like this guy who converted a bus. I saw him parked earlier. So he, but he got out of the car this morning and started walking around my RV. And he was coughing, like he's a, COVID recipient, like a lot of us, And but you know, obviously, like walking around for a while, and this dog just right across the fence started barking. So I realized that, okay, that was now, you know, I don't know for sure. You know, it could have been like he was just checking it out, like, you know, maybe he was even was interested in like buying it or something. But no, I mean, I know pretty sure what it is he was like, you know, I mean, probably like this close. I can't even make the pinch sign. This close to knocking, you know, from me getting the knock, the dreaded knock of the homeless mobile on the homeless mobile. And so I decided that was a pretty clear sign. So just kind of filling you in if you haven't had this experience. When you get a sign like that, you can either take the early hint, the middle hint, or the late hint. So, you know, basically it comes down to the early hint or the late hint. So if you get an early hint, probably time to clear out before you get the much less pleasant late hit. And that's from someone who's in the neighborhood who is not happy with your presence in their area. So it's only a matter of time before some people come, you know, like people could come later at night and knock on the door, you know, like, and, you know, okay, you know, we're just kind of concerned, you know, in our neighborhood, you know, like somebody's wife is pissed or somebody else is pissed, you know, they don't want it in their neighborhood, you know, I understand. You know, at this point, I don't even think that I could really go back to the regular working world. I mean, you never know, you know, who knows? I'm not saying anything for sure, but it's like, I think this is what I got, this is what I'm doing for my life is you know, making these videos, even though, you know, I've been demonetized by YouTube for an alien abduction video, and by the way, I've applied twice to get it back and no reply at all, so I think it's permanent. In fact, I'm sure it's permanent. But I was gonna say, Elon Musk, if you're listening, please buy YouTube as well. It sorely needs it. Oh man, I'd be so happy if you bought YouTube. Oh man. So, I think though that if you don't come away from the world in a similar fashion and also find yourself with, you know, little resources. I mean, anybody who still has like a, you know, like a big house and nice cars and everything, but, you know, like they've supposedly found the truth of the world, now they've become rebels and making movies about stuff, but if they still have plenty of money, and see, I think when you're truly on the right path of righteousness, even if you came from money, you're gonna lose it somehow, because God will take it away. It belongs to Satan, really. And so if you truly reject Satan and you come to God, and you will be found as a friend of God, truly fighting for God every day, pleasing to the Lord, every day in the grace of God, because you are not partially siding with Satan and doing little jobs for Satan on the side. Which is not to say you shouldn't labor. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that track of life will lead you to be, minus any sort of resources, any sort of significant resources, to the point where you are probably going to find yourself homeless. That's just my guess, you know, and I'm not saying, you know, everyone has to be homeless in order to be saved. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you are actively fighting for the Lord in such a manner that, you know, you are really making an enemy out of the God of this world, Satan, who owns all the money, he's going to take it from you. And you're not going to be welcome in those places. Your spirit is not going to be welcome in the places. Like, I just don't see myself. I mean, I try, I look for odd jobs, I think about stuff, but I'm already kind of at the point where I kind of know, and a lot of people who have experienced this know. I mean, people who haven't, it just sounds like an excuse, like, oh, I don't want to get up early like everybody else. I get up early every morning. I just think that, it's at the point now, I mean, I'm 52, I have no money or resources, been homeless for 32 years, on and off, you know, I get a little break now and again like I got with the Angel. Only lasts for a year and a half maybe 2 years if I'm lucky. But other than that, I mean, I don't see me getting into some business or, you know, like myself being the businessman, certainly, because I already know what that is. I mean, I know what that is. There's no avenue to do it. There's no way to do it. They're all wickedness. They're all oppression. They're all works of iniquity, and even regular labor, which I would do, but I don't know where I can go with that. I don't know how that's going to work for me anymore. But I must say, I have a lot of faith in God that I'm going to find a way somehow, you know, doing what I'm doing, maybe, you know, modifying it, getting, who knows, maybe getting more serious and doing like a full-blown, you know, church type thing, so as to be taken seriously by the religious community who won't give you their money otherwise. But I think that these people that, like I told you, man, I think that they are all full of shit. I mean that sincerely, and I don't mean, you know, I mean, some people may not like that, you know, like if I say that, but I mean, I'm just giving you my feeling about it, because I've been in these churches, man. I've been in a lot of them, and you know, I've seen what their story is. I've looked at them, I've heard their gospel, and all I can tell you is that it doesn't match what I see out of the Scripture. So that, you know, doesn't mean they're wrong, or you know, I just that's my take on it. That they're so off. I don't see them as being saved. But there's a lot of people that, you know, I think that are good. Preachers I've heard that are, you know, they're very good. Because if you think about it, does it really make sense that a person is going to be comfortable in their cozy little place right up until the day that they are entered into heaven for their righteousness? Was it going to be easy? Was it going to be like hanging out? You got a cool place to hang out with no changes, no problem, no fear, no running out of money, no persecution. Easy peasy, straight into heaven because you just got lucky. Nah, man. It's gonna be a challenge. I mean, to where you are like, how do I even do this? God wants us to have an adventure. God wants us to have a situation of hanging on by a thin thread, fearing for our lives, in doubt, hated on all sides, surrounded by the enemy. It's to challenge our souls. It's a fire that can only be achieved with poverty, with lower funds, because you cannot, when you have plenty of money, there's really, you know, it's a good defense against everything. You can, first of all, you can afford to shelter yourself in such a way that you can avoid the attacks. But when you're poor, you're exposed. You're vulnerable out in the open all the time, and you feel it. But that's, I believe, what's needed. Our souls needed that. As I said before, the soul that is not severely chastened doesn't understand what it takes, doesn't have the humility to take the next step, the step towards life. The entire society structure is a reptilian plot, specifically the education. The sign says, you think education is expensive, try ignorance, and you see the ape sitting in the zoo. Well, that's a message that's designed to go out, not because the situation is with education, you're going to be a lot better off. No, because education, they have designed to make you stupid and accepting of these ways of sin, which if you do not continue in these ways of sin, for instance, the medical establishment, which I know firsthand, my mother was a medical doctor, But I knew from investigations it's not hard to figure out once you are able to see, your eyes are opened, and you see it's all a scam. Basically what they're doing is fraud of various kinds to actually make people sicker and refuse treatments and natural remedies that would protect people from a lot of what happens to them. For instance, the medical system for cancer, they actually give you the cancer, and then when you get the cancer, they finish you off with the treatment. Chemotherapy is just finishes you off. Even a so-called alternative chemotherapy, natural holistic chemotherapy, which my mother decided was a good idea, and she died shortly afterwards. So, I now understand, and by the way, incidentally, a lot of people in business never graduated. If they look at Bill Gates, he dropped out of college. So, but, you know, and he's not the only one. There's a lot of people who never even went near college, and they did better than a lot of people who went into college and are now deeply in debt, even in their mid-40s and 50s still. So, but the important point is that I don't regret now, I mean, you know, not that I'm happy that this is the case, but now I understand that for whatever reason, I think God's reason, I mean, I took a look at it and it all seemed like total fraud to me, just bogus, like it was just complete crap. But being homeless, a lot of times you see everybody else has a home who has their degree, you regret it. But then later, when I learned what it really was, what this world really is, it's a trap for the soul. People think that society and our government is good. Look at what just happened recently with this whole pandemic thing. And everybody said, oh yeah, the government knows what's best for us. I better go in and get what they recommend. And you know, I'll be, you know, that you have to do that because we all trust the government here. Oh boy. And now look what we got. Yeah, hey, so guys, look at this. This is highly unusual for me to get 17K on this. And also here, 16K. And this is highly unusual. And also the subscriber count has gone way up for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. But I mean, it's not that it's bad news, but it's strange. Because, I mean, you can see, look at the, you know, the tiny view counts you get on these for the most part, you know. 3K, wow, it's a big showing, you know. Usually it's smaller than that. So I don't know what this huge increase means. Like, you know, it may be meant to make me think that it's going to be good news. See, look at this. It's just, you know, less than 1,000 views, 600 views, 4.7K. That's like huge, dude. And so for me to get 16K is insane. 17K, that's just insane. Yeah, so I don't know what that is with this sudden, like, I'm getting like 100 plus subscribers a day. And now you say, well, isn't that good news? Aren't you happy? Well, yeah, but cautiously, because you see, what's happening here is that they do tactics like this to, like, you know, like the result of this might be a deletion of my channel. You know, like somebody may accuse me of, because they did this before. I didn't even know that it was against the rules to hire somebody to attract business to your site. So I did that one time early on. You know, just pay the guy $10 and he's supposedly direct, you know, a certain amount of traffic to your site. But then YouTube sends me this notice saying, oh, there's some kind of artificial gaming, something like that. Oh, okay, I didn't know. And so I didn't do it anymore. But they may claim that I did, and that's why all of a sudden you're getting all these subscribers and views all of a sudden. Now, who knows? Maybe somebody's, you know, on the other hand, it might be somebody's prayers came through, or my prayers came through, and started to unblock my channel a bit for more people to see and hear and know and understand. That's what I pray to God daily about. And so who knows? But I'm cautious in my optimism, as you can see. So what I realized is that the uninformed man is just going to think that it's hostile aliens, non-humans, interdimensionals, whatever, that are oppressing our world. And the people that are missing the wider story, which is that all this is being used to see what you're going to do, to refine souls, to test souls, and you're going to heaven or hell, the old story. And they think that that's an old-fashioned bullshit story. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's not. It's completely real. If you actually research it with an open mind, like, you know, gee, I've never wanted to consider religious bullshit. But if you check it out, just type in hell witness, heaven witness, and once you realize that these people aren't lying or crazy, and then they are seeing this, then with that one factor in mind, just the whole heaven-hell experience, it changes the dynamic from thinking that it's a chaotic situation to understanding that it's deterministic. That is, God is in control and in momentary control, even so much as he knows your thoughts and will know if you want to come to him in a prayer, because he hears the prayer. Look at this jackass dude. Yeah, I get this all the time, people driving. I don't know, maybe it's worse in New York. But I mean, anyway. It is a crazy situation, because people think that, you know, all these people like Carrie Cassidy and James Rink and all these people, they just think that it's, you know, they know about the interdimensionals, they know about the non-humans, they've been on all these missions, they've seen them, they've experienced them, and, you know, the whole thing, they know about all that. And yet they do not understand that it is a God-controlled, moment-by-moment situation. And you are going to be found either on the right side of things or the wrong side of things. And God tells us in his word that there is no neutrality in this, because Jesus himself says, let those who would not have me as ruler over them bring them before me and slay them. So yeah, I mean, it's a do or die situation, and it's you need to make a friend of Jesus. If you're watching this, it's not too late. Say this prayer now. Father in heaven, save my soul by the work of your Son Jesus on the cross, and show me your pure words in the authorized King James Bible. But what happens ultimately to many is that they are turned into beasts. This is what happened to Satan. The universe is created so that people or angels turn into monsters to match the sin that they've chosen. Because if you've chosen to turn away from God, if you've chosen to go along with sin, if you've chosen to not stop the iniquities of the world, the occupations for evil, then you don't deserve to be human anymore. You're not human anymore. You're not a man anymore. You start to become a beast. This is why we're getting these non-humans. Now, again, there may be non-humans, just like there's, you know, obviously non-sentient non-humans that have nothing to do with hell. There's a lot of reptilian animals that have nothing to do with hell and punishment, or they did anything wrong. At least as far as I know. Who knows? Maybe that's some kind of subsidiary of evil. But I don't think so. I think it's when the sentient beings are it's like you get turned into an animal because you weren't worthy to handle the humanity.
This is a war on religion. This is a war on the children. They kill with the sickness. This is a war